welcome to my channel Aqualuna73. I also would like to start off by saying that before this is a reading for Sagittarius, please go read the disclaimer on my about part there on my YouTube channel, and please be in mind that you have to consider that all of us have 12 placements or 12 houses, and each house represents something different in our life. So this reading may not resonate with all Sagittarius people, and it may be that you have other placements, so you need to look at other readings. Please be in mind your moon sign, your Venus sign placement, and your rising sign, sun sign. And what else is there? I think that's it. And the tarot is here for guidance. Whatever lessons you can learn from this, whatever information is useful, please take it and apply it to your life if you feel you want to do this. And if you feel that or felt that this reading was helpful, I ask you to please subscribe to my channel, like and share with other people. I started this channel initially to help people navigate life. Anyway, Sagittarius, I draw a card after shuffling the Karma Music Tarot deck. I drew a card for you, and also from the Land Sky Oracle. And the Land Sky Oracle wants to talk today. We have a very, very heavy subject today that we're going to talk about, and I don't even know how long this reading is going to take, okay? And it's kind of a well, some people would say it's kind of depressing to talk about something like this, but this is what the universe wants to talk about today, Sagittarius, is death. Fear of death. Fear of death. It says the Abini Veja, okay? Abini Veja. So this tarot deck, excuse me, oracle deck is based on yoga poses and yoga sutra, okay? And then the Karma Music, tarot deck gave you this, 3 of Cups. Beautiful card. Ordinary tarot deck, a Rider-Waite tarot deck that I'm going to use now. The 3 of Cups are 3 people celebrating. It's about creativity, celebration, desires and passion, spiritual and psychic connection, combining spirituality with intuitive powers, with psychic powers, and yeah, this is basically what it's describing. We'll go into it later as well. And then when I look at this Abini Vesha card, fear of death, would obviously bring forth emotions like anxiety and depression. And you will see this with the rigid patterns here on the card as well. It's somebody who is not in a fluid space of their life, okay? And in my previous readings, when I drew cards from the Land Sky Oracle, this is one specific card that came up twice in readings, or 3 times, I'm not sure. It's attachment and aversion card. And I clearly indicated on previous readings that attachment and aversion are the 2 main causes for suffering for us as humans. Because we attach to a people or situations, and if it's not in the way that we want it to be, or if they don't act in the way that we want them to act, or do what we want them to do, we are disappointed, we are hurt, and that is attachment. Aversion is somebody who is repulsed by stuff, who avoids stuff, also not to suffer, which in turn also creates suffering, okay? And that is the main causes of our underlying patterns of our karmic situations with people, circumstances, etc. Okay, and Abhini Vija basically is the ultimate cause of suffering. Okay, the ultimate cause of suffering, which is the attachment to life. We as humans being attached to life, our fear of death, and mostly it's because I think or I feel that it's because we don't know what's lying on the other side. With the world evolving as it is, we are being exposed to death now in this time period. So it would just be appropriate that the reading would be at some stage would pop up. It's our fear, it's our Bini Vija, it's our fear of death and our attachment to life. I cannot help but think of the current situation that we're currently facing with the vaccines. On one hand, we have the anti-vaxxers. On the other hand, we have the people that want to get vaccinated. And the two groups are currently fighting with each other. The one group is accusing the other group of violating or government violating their rights and like forcing people. It's not only in South Africa but all over the world where people feel they are being forced to take something that they know nothing about. What it contains, people don't want to, or the authorities possibly don't want to disclose what the vaccines contain, and it was not properly tested, so obviously people are going to be reluctant to take it. Okay, that part of the groups, that would be the anti-vaxxers, they are also attached to life. It's also Abhini Vija, which means they are also attached to their survival. Okay, and that also causes suffering. The same with the people that are vaxxers. They also want to have the right to choose to take the vaccine because they also, and that's also Abhini Vija. I hope you understand where I'm going with this. Ultimately, both parties, regardless of which party you belong to, is attached to life and to survival and to their will to survive. And that is the ultimate attachment. And what we as humans need to realize is that everything in our life, regardless of what it is seasonal. Nothing is forever. Not relationships. Your kids grow up, they leave home. You're going to die. Your husband is going to die. Your family, you will eventually also die. And this is something that we are very uncomfortable with because we have a fear of the unknown, a fear that we don't know what lies behind this specific world is all that we know. Okay? And with we being bombarded with spirituality, New Age, Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, we are bombarded from every angle with different types of opinions, and I can understand totally. It leaves a person confused. It leaves you in doubt. It leaves you with fears because you don't know what's lying ahead. Okay? Okay, so let's see where this reading goes for you, Sagittarius. I can't help but think of, sorry, I just drank a little bit of water. I cannot help but think of a poem that I read a very long time ago. I can't even remember. The poem was about the lion. And the lion is obviously the king of the jungle. The lion is obviously the king of the jungle. And because he is the king of the jungle, the other animals obviously revere him and respect him. Because he is somebody of authority, somebody that's a leader, somebody that's respected. But at some stage, this lion grew old And people didn't lose their respect for him. He got mad because people didn't want him to die with honor. Because there's honor in living, but there's honor in death as well. I can't remember what the poem was about. I will see if I can find the poem again. Okay, and then at some stage I will post it in the description in the box below, and then you can just come back and see where you can find this poem. But it's very beautiful. It's a beautiful poem, and it boils down to us and our attachment to life and our attachment to prosperity and thriving, and because we see death as deprivement, okay, we see death as so final because we don't know what lies beyond that, okay. And oh my gosh, isn't this ironic that the death card would pop up? Anyway, this is beautiful. I think this is going to be a lovely reading. And trust me when I tell you, Sagittarius, it's not something that you should feel ashamed about, because everybody, all of us, even me, there are sometimes things that I fear, and even sometimes when I think about it, you cannot help but feel fear because you don't know what's going to happen when you leave this plane. But like my son has this, when he was small, was a little boy, he had this explanation where he said, Mom, he was always into science. And he said, Mom, energy is not something that dies. It's something that continues to, it just continues endlessly, because it's almost like, I don't know how to explain this to you, okay, from a perspective that I understand. I just don't know how to explain this to you. If the only thing I can think of is the explanation of that there is a type of a life after death, regardless of from which perspective you look at it, whether it's from a religious perspective or a spiritual perspective, or even an atheistic perspective. Even if you're not a believer in any God or anything, you have no certainty that there isn't some sort of afterlife. And because you say there isn't, doesn't mean there's no such thing. It's just all of us have opinions as to how we think things are. It almost like makes me think of, oh my gosh, I don't know how long reading is going to take. It makes me think of an article that I read a few years ago about a doctor. She wasn't religious. I don't think she was brought up in a religious home, but she was a scientist, she was a doctor, and she had this brother. He was an addict, and he died at the age of 60 after he was high on drugs, and he ran in front of a car and he was killed. And the book's name was something about Billy Fingers. And he came, she wasn't a believer in spirits, in in things that could communicate with you in the afterlife, okay, or entities or whatever you want to call it. But she said every time at a specific hour, every morning, she could hear his voice clearly, like it was coming from the roof. And after a while, he started communicating with her. And she started telling her husband and everyone, and no one wanted to believe. And she asked him to start proving that what she was experiencing was real. And he started giving her proof that he was really talking to her from the afterlife. And he tried to explain to her that there was no such thing as heaven or hell. And he also, I suggest you go read the book, okay? Just look up on Google Billy Fingers. And it will give you a new perspective on what the afterlife is, and that it's not something that we need to fear, that it's not, we try to put a human perspective on things. And that's why, because we have a limited perception or perspective as to what the afterlife is, and that's possibly why we have this fear. It's because we don't really know. Okay, at the bottom of the deck is the Chariot card, and the Chariot card, it's a youth. He's charging forward in a new direction. He's not sure which way to go yet, but he's enthusiastic, he's eager, young at heart, almost like fearless. Okay? The first card that you get is the Eight of Swords. And you will see she's blindfolded, and she is like wrapped in cloth. But the cloth is something that she can just shake off. It's not like she's tied to such an extent that she cannot shake off those things that bind her. So swords represent your thoughts. So you feel binded in your thoughts about something. I don't know if it's the death card, if you have been experiencing or death to such an extent, especially now in this time that we're facing, Sagittarius, the uncertainty, and with this pandemic, etc. So it could be possible. It's because, yeah, like I said, you're in your thoughts, you're in your head, and this leaves you, it's almost like this person is extremely worried. And if you come from this position where you are in your head about something, regardless of what it is, it can be fear of death, or it can be fear of the unknown. Maybe something you were exposed to and it forced you into a certain, it could be that you had some tower moment in your life and this changed your life drastically, suddenly, okay? And this left you in your head, it left you in a almost like a victimized situation or space in your head where you feel afflicted, okay? You feel afflicted in your head. This is followed by the King of Wands. Like I said before, Wands represent fire signs. The King of Wands is, the word that comes to mind is a progressive person. Somebody who's fierce and fearless, who is firm, who knows what they want and they go after what they want. Usually when you're in a King of Wands, this King of Wands today could also indicate somebody that's impulsive. And the reason why I'm saying this is impulsive behavior. Impulsive behavior have the tendency to lead you. I wouldn't say the person is irresponsible, okay? That's not what I'm suggesting. I don't know exactly which, this is a general reading, so this could be somebody that faced the tower moment. And with the bottom of the deck being the Chariot card, it's somebody who's youthful, somebody who is charging forward in some specific direction, okay? It could be that you created this situation yourself. Sagittarius, with this sudden impulsive attitude that you had, and this led you into the 5 of coins position, which 5 of coins usually represent loss or sadness, and this led you into the death position, which, and you don't need to be afraid. The death card doesn't necessarily only represent death. Death and rebirth go hand in hand, okay? Like I said, life has cycles, and every cycle starts and every cycle has to end at some stage. But obviously there's something that happened and it led to the end of the situation, or it could be a relationship, it could be a situation. I don't know what it is. But I feel that it's you that were impulsive with. And the reason why I'm saying is this card here. The first 2 cards is the 8 of swords and 9 of swords. You clearly see this person is binded, it's in their head. And it's almost like, and when you're not in a good space in your head, and obviously you weren't, you tend to be impulsive with decisions, which will lead you obviously in a where you will feel loss of some kind. It could be that you were in a business endeavor, a contract or something that you signed, and it possibly backfired on you. Okay, this is a general reading. I'm just saying as I see it. It could also be, if you look at it from another perspective, you could have lost someone with these 2 cards, which left you in a position in your head, extremely sad and depressed. And when we are sad and depressed, it also leads us into impulsive behavior, or possibly situations that could lead you to end of cycles. Because this is the bottom of last row, this is the card, is the World card. So it's obviously something that ended, okay? And like I said, with the Death card, it's endings and beginnings, and then it's followed by the World card, which indicates to me that there's something that ended for you. It was a cycle that ended for you, or a cycle that's going to end for you if you're still in this energy. And with the bottom of the deck, with the Chariot card, like I said here, the 3 of Cups is the Karma Music Tarot card that came out for you. And this card is represented by Libra, Cancer, and Pisces. And Libra are the scales, which clearly indicate to me that you need to create some type of balance in your life. And it could be possibly that you ended a relationship or something to that effect, or a business partnership, or you could have lost someone that you cared about. I don't know which one it is. But with this card charging forward with the Chariot card, and with this card, it tells me that this card is indicating harmony, partnership, working with others, building trust. And the only way you can do this, if you want to build balance, if you want to build trust, if you want to build harmony, is if you make yourself vulnerable in a situation. Because at the end of the day, I don't know if you, or this World card is leading you into a new energy, okay? And it's almost like the universe wants to tell you to trust. Trust this process. It's almost like the universe wants to tell you, trust the process. Like I said, the Death card also represents rebirth, end of a cycle. There's something new here for you, Sagittarius. I can clearly see this. with the cards here. The second row is the Empress God. It's a motherly figure, older woman, very wise, very, the word that comes to mind is she's a stern person, disciplined person, but she also knows, almost like somebody who knows her worth. She's firm. She is respected. This could be the energy that you need to embrace, or somebody that you're dealing with. Could be a person that you're going to meet that's going to lead you into this new direction that you need to go in with your life. And this new direction that you're going to go into your life is going to, at the end of the day, when you choose something new for yourself, you end up in this position where you are presented with several options for several things. And it's almost like the universe, when you are brave enough to enter one type of cycle, to start something new, usually what happens is you're not only presented with one option, there will be several. One door may close, but at the end, several other doors open. Several other opportunities open up for you. Okay? Which will leave you in a position where you don't know what to choose. What am I going to choose? Okay, and this is what the Seven of Cups represent, is somebody who's trying to decide. And clearly with the Three of Cups, it's almost like this card is indicating when I look at this card, this specific card, not the other Three of Cups, but this specific card in this deck, this is clearly indicating to me a lot of desire, a lot of passion, a lot of creativity. But it also indicates to me somebody who needs to surrender to a type of vulnerability within themselves that will open up that type of creativity within themselves. And it's almost like there is a type of a partnership. I don't know, it's almost like the universe wants to indicate to you that you need to find some unity in your spiritual life as well as the aspects of your material life. It could also indicate if you start a new cycle. You see the breasts here, this is also fertility. This could also indicate that a pregnancy, somebody is going to become a mother, possibly. This could be the new cycle that you're going to end up in, where you find out that you're pregnant. Okay? And like I said, this card is like about creativity, creation, and that what this pregnancy is, it's something that you created. Okay? And this is what leads you into motherhood. So this card indicates motherhood as well. It also indicates possibly that you could, this new cycle that you're going to go into is possibly a new relationship. If you come out of a broken relationship, or you had loss in some kind of relationship, it could indicate a new relationship, a new business adventure. Yes, adventure, that could lead to adventure. This is also what this is indicating. Okay? So I don't want you to see the death as something bad. Like I said, death is rebirth. Even from a religious aspect, people are being taught that there's life after death, even from a spiritual perspective. And it's just you have this type of perception of how you, because you have limited human perception. And you need to see things from maybe a spiritual perspective, and this is what this card also, because this is also what this card indicates. You will see the fish. The fish indicates spirituality. This unity between this man and woman, it's divine energy, divine feminine, divine male energy. I don't know if you're going to go into a type of a partnership. I don't know what the specific, it could be anything, okay, relationship, you could become a mommy, you could become a dad, I don't know, adoption, you could decide to adopt, I don't know. The next card is the Hermit card, and the Hangman is also after that. And the Hangman, the Hermit card indicates somebody who's taking out time to reflect. He's alone in a solitary position where he is deciding, because this person obviously went through major changes in his life. And this is followed by the Hangman card. It's almost like somebody is hanging upside down, but it's not in a comfortable, uncomfortable position. It's just like chilling. Somebody who's deciding in a very, it's almost like, okay, this person is in a stable place. After they went through great turmoil, they're in the stable place here because they understand that being alone and maybe cutting yourself off from people for a while is necessary in order for you to heal something inside you, some type of trauma or whatever it is that you were facing or still going to face, or that you're currently in. Okay? This leads you to the Ace of Cups. And the last card is the Eight of Wands. And when I look at the Ace of Cups, it's almost like a type of a completion to me today. A completion, a reward. You see that's a hand that's offering you a cup, and it's overflowing. And you will see these like a dove. It's almost like the universe is offering you, after everything that you've went through, this is like an offering of peace, of inner peace, of understanding, because you have come through this cycle and you have developed this understanding